Get it right, get it on my tree.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Kathy here. So today I just wanted to share with you a few projects that I've been working on for the last month or so. And I did get all of my creativity ideas from a YouTuber. Her name is Tiffany Solorio. You need to go check out her channel. I'm going to link below her the videos that inspired these projects specifically, and then you can actually go and check out some of her other videos. She's so amazing when it comes to media art. In particular, I've learned so much from her. So this tag was inspired by a tag that she made, which is quite similar to this one. So I kind of used it as my first project to get into like a mixed media kind of tag or canvas. So I'm going to be showing you the tag first, and then I do have a couple canvases that I've made. And yeah, I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about each one. So for this tag, what I did is I took corrugated cardboard, which is kind of here, and I just cut it into a tag shape, and then you rip off the top layer so that you get the corrugation kind of shows through. And in her video, in Tiffany's video, she'll actually go through step by step how to make this tag. But yeah, so you can certainly watch her video to kind of see all the steps, but I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I made. This is actually a wooden kind of chipboard piece, and it actually was a full kind of circle, but then I just cut it in half, and I only used half of it on the project. And then these shells I got from, I either got some from Michael's, but I also collected shells when I was young in Hawaii. So some of the shells are actually from Hawaii when I was a little girl, and I walked along the beach and collected some of the shells. So and then these are the art stones. So there's basically 3 different sizes, although on this one I think I just used the 2 sizes. So I used the large or the mega art stones, and then there's the regular art stones. They have mini art stones too, but I didn't actually have those in. I hadn't ordered them yet, so I didn't have them with me when I was doing this tag. And then for this seahorse, Tiffany actually used a seahorse in her tag, which was similar to this one, and I loved it so much. But Prima Marketing made that seahorse, but they didn't have. It's no longer available. So I was actually in Michael's, and I was looking through the cake decorating section and they have like silicone molds. And so what I did is I found a beach one, which was awesome. So excited. So it has this seahorse in it and other things as well, which I'm going to use. And I just used resin. I bought some resin mold, and I'll leave that information below what I used. And then I just created my own molds, which was so easy and so fun. And then of course I painted everything with white gesso, so that when I used the color bloom sprays, you would actually be able to see them. So the color bloom sprays I used were the lime wedge, which is that greeny color. I used the glistening waves and the deep teal. And there is a little bit of precious stone, which is kind of the darker black color, but it doesn't show up as well. Honestly, I feel like when I make my next tag, I'm going to do more layers of white gesso before I start to use the sprays, because I feel that it would adhere better to the tag if I had done that. So it's interesting to me, like when you make one of these on your own, you just learn so much as you go. So anyways, I'm still happy with how this tag turned out though. So, and then at the end I just wanted to add in some of these like paper flowers. So I did everything and let everything dry, and then added in the paper flowers. And this is just a stamp that I had on hand. So that is the first thing that I wanted to show you, my tag. Okay, so I wanted to also show you this frame that I made, and again, I was inspired by Tiffany when I made this frame. It's my parents' it was my parents' 40th wedding anniversary this summer, so I wanted to do something for them and give it to them when I see them this weekend for Thanksgiving. And so this picture was actually taken in May of this year at my my oldest child, my son, his grad from grade 12. So I wanted to use that picture because it was taken this year and it's their 40th anniversary this year. So for this project, I did a lot of, again, I got a lot of inspiration from Tiffany. She does a lot of canvases that she walks you through the process, and you actually get to see her create the whole thing from beginning to end. And I'm certainly willing to do that if you are interested in something like that. But I'm going to link her videos below so that you can see that process unfolding. So for this one, I used a lot of the Prima IOD molds. So this is one of the molds that I made, and then all of these, any of the little flowers like this is from the mold. This kind of frame here, like that I attached to the frame, is also from one of the IOD molds, the Prima Marketing. And then this one, and then there's actually a swirl. It's hard to see, but there's a swirl kind of here that I use to anchor sort of my little cluster here. So that's from one of the Prima molds as well. So for this one, I wanted to try and use some of the colors that my mom would like, because it's going to go in her house, and she tends to have a lot of kind of earthy tones and stuff in her homes. So I'm hoping that this is going to work out. I'm actually seeing their new house for the first time this weekend, so I don't know what it looks like, but hopefully it's going to work out. Yeah, and so for I used a glimmer mist, which is kind of a peachy yellow for here, and then I used the color bloom sprays for the rest of it. And this one's called the Berry, and I used a little bit of precious stone. I wanted to anchor like some darker spots, because I just feel that helps with the depth in the project, although I feel like I probably could have done a bit better job doing that. I did find, again, with the tag that I'm next time I'm going to put way more layers of gesso on, so that because I found that when I sprayed the bloom sprays, sometimes they wouldn't stick, or they would go to when you sprayed them with water, so that the color would travel a little bit on your project, it would make it too light, and I wanted it to be darker. So I think that I didn't have enough white gesso on. So anyways, and then this is one of the metal hearts from Finnabair's line. So, and then I found this love wood chip piece at a scrapbook store in my city. So yeah, I'm also going to show you the next frame, which I made for a friend of mine. Okay, everyone, this is the final canvas that I wanted to show you, and this was really my inspiration for doing these canvases in the first place. I really wanted to make one of these mixed media canvases for my best friend, Randy. It was her birthday in the beginning of September, and I've had a plan of making these canvases for so long, like months and months and months. I've been wanting to make her one of these. So my goal was originally to give it to her and have it ready for her birthday in September, but I was waiting for a lot of product to come in that as I started to watch videos on YouTube, I just came across more and more things like products and stuff that I wanted to add and make it and put on her canvas. So I had to wait for some of that stuff to come in. And then I also needed to make my parents' canvas, because it was I was seeing them at Thanksgiving, and I don't see them very often, so I needed to have theirs ready and concentrate on getting theirs done and having it ready for them for Thanksgiving. So yeah, and I also, honestly, I just wanted to have some experience making some of the canvases before I made hers, because when I went to make hers, I've had this idea in my head for so long that I just wanted it to be amazing for her. So anyways, this is what I came up with. I'm so excited. I'm so happy with how it turned out. So I did use a lot of similar products that I did for my parents' canvas. So I used the Prima IOD mold. So this one is one of the molds. This on here is actually a mold on top of a Prima baroque frame. And then this is a mold that I used from IOD. And then this one here too. So I really like the amazing casting resin to make those molds. I've tried both. I've tried the paper clay, using it with the molds, and I use the casting resin, which the amazing one is so great. It like dries in it sets basically in like 10 or 15 minutes. So it's super quick, but I prefer it over the clay, because I find the clay can crack and it's brittle and it's just not as solid. Like I just much prefer the casting resin. So anyways, that's just my personal preference. A lot of the flowers and stuff on here are from Prima. I've had them in my stash. Like, this is the thing. I have so much stuff in my stash that sometimes I can't even tell you where I got it from because I've had it for so long. So there's some things on here that are like that. Like these flowers are all, well, these ones are Prima flowers. This is a Prima flower. This butterfly is from Prima. I've had it in my stash for quite some time. And then I use these. These are like metal. They were silver metal wings. And I use these. I got this from, I think it's a Tim Holtz embellishment. And then this heart, metal heart, is from Finnebear, one of her embellishments. And then these are those half circles. They're clear half circles. Again, I think they're by, I want to say Finnebear. I'll leave the products that I use below so that you can see everything that I used. And then I just, put on the white gesso and then painted them with my color bloom sprays. So I did find, because of the experience I had with my parents' canvas, I did concentrate a lot on getting the white gesso down in either 2 or 3 layers and make sure that it was well coated before I started to put on the color bloom sprays. And I did find that I don't always get the payoff that I'm looking for. So I don't know, like they're not always as dark as I want them. So what I do is when that happens is I just walk away from it and I let it dry, and then I come back and then just keep layering on the color. And I found that that worked quite well. And this chipboard piece I've had for quite some time, and I was saving it for her because I knew I wanted to use it on this canvas layout. And then this chipboard piece I actually found from an Etsy store. Her name is Renee, but I can't remember her last name or what the name of her store is. So I will leave a link below, her Etsy store, where I got that from. I got this one and another one. And then I really like to use the art stones. So I've used the art stones throughout, I have the mega art stones, the regular size one, and then the mini ones. So I love using the art stones. I just feel like it adds so much texture, and it just kind of builds up your clusters and stuff. You can kind of, add some interest to the clusters like when you're making them. So, and then I also use this shimmer. I have this shimmer it's like a paint, and again, I'll leave the name of it below, but the name of it's called Chandelier. And it's like this, I just brushed it on throughout the whole, on so many of the pieces. And then I actually used the Art Basics Art Sugar, I think it's called. Again, I'll leave the name of it below, sorry. And I really want the word dream to kind of stand out, and then also the fairy to stand out a bit more. So I used those on there. So I'm so excited, to plan something like this for so long in your head, you sometimes just need to get it out and just do it. So I'm so glad that I finally was able to sit down and work on this, and I'm so excited to give it to my best friend. So I hope that she loves it, and I hope that you really enjoyed watching this video too, and I hope that you try one of these. They're so fun, and they're amazing to give as gifts as well. So I hope that you try one. It's really been so much fun for me. So, and it gets you get to use up some of your stuff in your stash, which is nice. So until next time, thank you so much for watching the video and lasting to the end if you stayed. And until next time, happy crafting. Thanks. Bye-bye.